Hey, what's going on? It's been a while. Today we're gonna work on bike handling skills. Because why? They're important. Another reason why? I suck at them. And this, I'm gonna be honest, met with my coach, went through that. I'm pretty bad at it. And yeah, we gotta get better. So let's work through handling drills, how you can improve your bike handling. All right, cool. So before we actually dive into the handling drills, the one thing I want to talk about is where you should do them. With meeting with my coach, Tim Cusick, he filmed me doing the drills, and honestly, I should have filmed him explaining it, and he should have been the one making this video because he did a phenomenal job at teaching it. Like, I'm a visual learner, so not only did he do a good job at just explaining to me how the bike works and things like that, but he did a fantastic job about showing me what to do, and it was clicking really quickly. But outside of that, let's just start with the first thing that you need to do in order to set up a good environment for doing these bike handling skills. The first thing we want to do is we want to find a parking spot, or not a parking spot, there's plenty of spots, but we want to find a parking lot. All right, this is a pretty big open lot. Obviously I'm out here at a local like church, and it's busy, vacant during the week. You know, it's not trespassing, anything like that, so that's plus. The other thing is, I don't know if you can fully see it, maybe you can see it this way, but this is actually sloped downhill. You want to try to find a parking lot that has a sloped grade on it, because when you're doing these drills, you want to come into your area where you're going to be cornering with the drill at speed, and then when you hit that, the downhill will allow you to just focus on coming into it and rolling it. And as you go up and around, and then you start to go back again, you carry more momentum, come back up, carry the momentum, slow down, carry the momentum. So if you can find something that's sloped, that's a huge plus. That's gonna be huge. Now let's look into diving in and how we're gonna set up the area for the actual drill. Okay, so this is what you wanna do. Once you find the parking lot of your choice, you wanna set up your area for the actual drills. So obviously we have a huge parking lot, huge. I'm going to pick the middle right here of this whole section, and I liked it because it's actually lined. So this intersection right here will be my center, and then obviously you can see that I have sponges. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I use sponges because 1, my coach gave them to me, and 2, they work good as cones. So you can go out to like Dick's Sporting Goods, you can go to Walmart, whatever, you can buy cones, like those little flat soccer cones, and put those up if you want to be super fancy. But he gave me sponges, and that was something easy, so I put those down. You're gonna set these up because now what we're going to do is we are going to do our drill around the cones. So all 3 drills we're gonna be doing around these cones in both directions. And if they're sponges or they're flat cones, whatever they are, you can run over them and they're not gonna like take you out, where if you have an actual physical up and down cone, it might take you out. But this is how you wanna set it up. And as you can see, like I have this, the nice grade is good because now I can come into them with speed and then just nail and start doing my cornering drills. So now that we got that taken care of and set up, let's talk about the bike and overall what we're gonna be doing with these drills and how that'll look. First thing is, you gotta think about your bike like this. Straight on, this is your bike. Now, my coach did a fantastic job at this, but I'm gonna try to explain it too. Basically, this is our plane. It doesn't change, right? If we're gonna go this way with the bike, if we're gonna go to our left, and we lean the bike, if we lean our body with it, now we're gonna be outside of that plane, and we're gonna risk doing this. And where I think, me personally, where I've messed up with this is, you think about professional motorcycle guys. When you see them on the track, you know, you see them leaning over with their bikes and getting into it like this and basically rubbing that knee on the ground, almost their shoulder, things like that. So for me personally, when I would corner a bike, I would think it's all in the lean like that. And that is where I got in trouble the most. And the one thing I learned with this is when your bike goes this way, you want your body to go the opposite way. That way you stay on this plane and you continue to keep it balanced. Because the one thing is, if I lean with my bike and I was to basically draw a line straight down, I'm not over the center of the plane anymore. I'm now outside of that, and like I said, it's gonna cause this to happen, or you're gonna have to slow down, or as you go through a corner, it's gonna be pushing on you because you just waited too far inside, and the bike's not gonna naturally wanna dive inside anymore. So today with these cornering drills, what we're gonna learn is by leaning your bike, you're gonna learn how to keep your body above it. So if I was to draw a line now for my chest straight down, it's gonna be parallel with the plane of my bike. So the further it leans, the further I come this way with my shoulders, and it's just gonna make things, the bike's gonna naturally wanna dive inside as long as I keep this out here. The minute I go here, I've lost it. The next thing is with this drill, you're gonna learn how to, one, keep that center plane here. We're gonna do that with a drill by walking through what we're gonna do with our right leg. The other thing is we're gonna learn how to use our stomach to do the turning and not actually turning our shoulders. We wanna keep our shoulders straight as we go through the corner like this, but we're gonna use it to rotate our belly button, if you would, towards where we're turning, while keeping our shoulders this way. The other thing is you want to learn how to turn at the hips, not at the actual hips down here, but your hip that's up here. You want to learn how to turn on that axis. So when we lean the bike, I'm not going to move my hips out, but rather I'm going to lean the bike and I'm going to turn with my hips this way, and I'm also going to turn my button towards where I want to go, my belly button, where I want to go. The other thing, and this is what the first drill is going to teach us, is we're going to learn how to counter steer. So as we lean that bike, we're not actually turning into the corner. What we want to do is as we lean that bike, we want to learn how to turn the bike like this. So we're going to counter steer. And the way you're going to counter steer is by putting pressure on the side that you're going. So if you're turning left, you're going to take your left arm, and you're going to apply pressure as if you're Superman, pushing through it. And as you turn, the further the bike leans, the more counter steer you're gonna get. So as we lean, we're gonna counter steer, and we're gonna carve through the corner. And then if we're going to the right, same thing. I'm going to push with my right hand, and as we lean, we're going to learn how to counter steer that and keep it going. So that's what our first drill is going to do, is we're going to learn how to counter steer the bike in the direction we're going. I know it sounds crazy. When I watched this, I was like, what? But then when I went and did it and put it into practice, I was like, whoa, mind blown. So let me throw on my shoes, let me throw on my helmet, and we'll start with the first drill. Okay, helmet on, shoes on. Now the reason why I'm practicing with my actual cleats on is because that's how I'm gonna corner out on the road. Practicing with your shoes on, your regular shoes and not your actual cycling shoes, really makes no sense. So you wanna practice as if you're riding on your bike. If you go out and do this in kit, do it in kit. What we're gonna do basically with this drill is we're going to head towards those cones, coming down this hill with speed. And then once we get towards them, we're gonna turn. So the first one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my left. So with going to my left, I'm going to practice on pushing through this and counter steering as I lean the bike. And the second thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to do my best to actually take my outside hand and slowly keep that off the bars as I do the drill. That way, as I'm turning left, I take my hand off this bar. Therefore, I'm putting all my trust into this hand. And with that, I'm also learning to push through. Now you're not pushing down, you're not pushing up, you're pushing through as if you're Superman, kind of like a 45-degree angle. Like you want to be Superman. So you're gonna be pushing through, doing that as you turn, and then you're gonna keep your opposite outside hand off the bar if you can, just to work on committing to that. And then we'll do, you know, 10 turns that way, go back, clear out, reset your mind, come back the opposite direction, then we'll go right hand inside as we turn right, do the same drill, and we're going to lift this hand off, and yeah, that's how it's gonna go. So that's drill number 1. Let's go over drill number 2. The next drill what we're going to be working on is we're going to be working on our outside leg. So what we're going to be doing is, we did the drill where when we would turn, say we turned left, we took our outside hand off the handlebar to like focus on pushing with that left hand and counter steering it and letting the bike lean and go where it wants to go, and basically carving. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to do the same drill. We'll keep both hands on the handlebars this time, but we are going to work on releasing the inside leg, so unclipping and letting it just kind of hover and float. That way you focus on putting all of your weight onto your outside foot and locking that leg out. So it's gonna look something kind of like this. Say we're going to turn left into the inside, right? So we did the drill like this. Now we're gonna put both hands on, and we will basically, when we turn inside, we'll leave this foot unclipped and just let it kind of hover, and your outside foot will be clipped in. And the goal is, when you go to lean the bike this way, we want to put all that weight on that foot, outside foot, and basically we're going to now pivot at our hips and let all that weight go there as we drop the bike in this way, right? So that's what we're gonna do. Inside foot unclipped, that way you focus on getting this one done. Then when you go the opposite way, you'll unclip that foot, and then you will do the same thing, unclip, and then you'll focus on working the bike like this. So we'll do that drill, see how that goes, and then we'll move on to the third and final drill. Let's go into our third drill. This drill is a little bit different. What we want to do now is we are going to work on turning our belly button towards where you want to go. So we're going to turn it towards the center of those 4 cones while we keep working on our hand there and our stiff and our weight on the outside. We're now going to not turn our shoulders, but we're going to turn our torso, if you will, and then keep like that. So we let this go towards where we want the bike and frame to go, but then we keep our shoulders straight and out. So when you do this, basically you're just focusing on pointing your belly button towards the center of the circle during the whole time, and it's gonna look something kind of like this, all right? So if I'm going, again, we're turning left, we're working on putting that counter steer in with that inside hand, we're working on locking this leg out and keeping it stiff. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our button and we're going to turn it in towards there, but we're not going to turn our shoulders with it. We're going to work on turning it in, and then at the hips we're going to hinge. That way we can keep keep it kind of like this. All right, it kind of looks weird, but that's our overall goal with the drill. So as we go around the cones, we turn our button towards the inside, and we're going to drop and just keep doing that. We go the opposite way. Obviously, you're gonna turn that there as you go. It's hard to do it this way, but you get my point. So we're going to now do that drill, same amount of times, both directions, see how it goes. All right, so check it out. Dude, that's like the basic handling drills that you can do. For me, I mean, those are 3 of them. There's 2 others that I do as well. I'll do those in a different video. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Just work on that inside hand, you know, counter steering, taking all the control. That outside hand should relatively be unweighted. I mean, that's why we practiced without it on the actual bar. Then again, you want to practice with that outside leg having all the weight on it, while your inside leg has virtually no weight on it, which is why, again, we practice that drill with unclipping with the inside foot and turning without it. And then again, you know, the third and final one is pointing your button towards the inside. That way you can make the frame carve and go even more where you want it to go. So we practice that. And then the fourth one was we just threw them all together as one big drill, just to throw them all in there and have them all work together to see what that's like. Because when you're out on the road, that's what you have to do. You know, you have to use the inside hand, outside leg, and your button to make it all come together. So those are the 3 drills, actually all 4 drills, but those are the 3 movements. I would say practice those, you know, 3 days a week. Go out pre-ride, practice them. Sometimes they're good to practice post-ride when you're tired. That way you continue to drill that in with the muscle memory. And yeah, have any questions or comments, leave those down below. And outside of that, hey, thanks for watching, guys. Keep riding and training hard. I'll see you guys on the next video. Let's go get my Chaz. Hey.